By way of introduction, my name is Chris Ray. I'm the Group Managing Director of AES Engineering Limited. AES Engineering Limited is the holding company of reliability businesses, the largest of which is the AESSEAL Group. Our business operates in 41 countries where we have fully owned or majority owned subsidiaries. I'm an engineer, an honorary and actual fellow of the Institution of Mechanical Engineers, and I've spent a lifetime travelling the globe, and in my time I have visited many of the manufacturing facilities that exist in different industries in all parts of the world. I've always wondered why major organisations employed reliability engineers who were not able to ensure that best practice was shared inside their own organisation. Well, none of that's maybe important unless you consider the consequences to the world. So laterally I started to think, well, why is it important that organisations share best practice? Based upon the narrow understanding I have of the world, but a pretty widespread understanding of global industrial processes. And what I concluded was it was really quite important, and it was really quite important for my grandchildren. So I'm going to tell you a story, and this story is actually true. I visited a very large facility in America, and on one side of the lake, we had put processes in place which stopped them from draining the lake, which was required as the drinking water for the local community. The plant that I visited on the other side of the lake was owned by the same organisation, and they intended to put in a process to drain the lake. My colleague who was with me at the time pointed out to them that there was known technology which they'd already applied on the other side of the lake that would stop them from draining the lake. And the person that we presented to basically said, "I don't think we're going to do that." My response was, I gave more money to charity last year, in fact many times more money to charity last year than the cost of this process. And if your huge corporation cannot afford the $148,000, which will be good for the planet, stop you draining the lake, stop emissions, save water, and also give you a great return on investment and increase your productivity, I'll give it you for free as part of my charitable giving. And I meant it. Those are the extreme lengths that you have to go to sometime to get people who are not at the top of organisations to understand that it's just not acceptable not to make decisions that share best practice, that stop emissions which are heating up the world. Anyway, the next day, my colleague got a call from this senior buyer who said, "We've talked about it. Here's the order. Tell your boss we don't need his money and we don't want any discount. So maybe I should try that one again sometime in the future." About a year and a half later, that same organisation placed a huge order with our business and put in a huge water management project, which also will have very large emission savings. So as I've been getting older, I've been wondering why. Why, when it is so obvious that you don't even have to believe in the science, you have to know that most of your customers believe in the science, why is it so obvious that you could save water, save energy, prevent emissions, get a return on investment, improve your productivity, and win an environmental award maybe as well? Why do people not do it? So I concluded that what it comes down to is there is no conduit between the board of directors in major organisations and their own operators and suppliers. I therefore created BetterWorld Solutions, whose whole purpose is to get organisations to adopt a policy to prevent global warming. The health of the earth is all of our concern. The policy is as business-friendly as it gets. It merely asks the board of directors to state that sustainability projects will be given precedence over any other investment for the limited amount of money they have to invest. It doesn't dictate the amount of investment that should be brought to their attention, nor does it dictate the return on investment because every business is different. It requests that the board of directors gives an answer within an acceptable time period, let's say 3 months, but the answer doesn't have to be yes. It's just important that there is an answer. Perhaps the most important thing is that organisations provide a helpline so that their own operators, who may have been blocked by their immediate supervisors, have a direct conduit to bring environmental projects to their attention, as do their suppliers. With the limited amount of information that we have, on BetterWorld.Solutions, we've got case studies that demonstrate that you could take the emissions of over 350 million cars off the road. There's an awful lot of if you could get other businesses to join in, opportunities to save emissions. It's quite possible that if several 100 million organisations with more than 250 people each adopted a policy to prevent global warming, and if every one of them just had 2 additional environmentally friendly projects or 2 environmentally friendly opportunities to save water and to reduce emissions, it's quite possible that we could reduce emissions and prevent the overheating of the earth. Of course, if business doesn't do it, business will lose its social right to operate. And it would, in my opinion, be inherently better for the board of directors of organisations to self-regulate and to do the right thing now rather than wait for when it's too late.